You'll never believe the top story on the Twitterverse right now involving the National Football League. To kick off hour number 2, let's do it. Let's do it. Because it has been pile-on Russ season in 2022. It has been. When Russell Wilson arrived in Denver, you know, my AFC West takes have been a little awry this year, admittedly. The Las Vegas Raiders nowhere near the top of the standings, although they're playing very, very, very well right now. Playing very, very well right now.
They are.
Yeah. And in the last second of the game, they've won 2 in a row. So admittedly, I must say that. On the flip side, when everyone's going crazy about the Broncos, just add Russ. The JAR, just add Russ. I was pumping the brakes on that. I said I need to see it to believe it. Need to see it to believe it. And then came the schedule comes out and zero chill from the NFL schedulers. Zero chill by throwing him in Seattle in week 1. And I thought, man, put Russ in Los Angeles. I thought that was going to be the kickoff game for the Rams. You know, you raise the banner, you get the rings, and you bring Russ in his first game as a Denver Bronco on national television. Yes, but against the Rams, you know, a team that he faced 2 times a year for all those years. And I think the league might have wished to have reversed it right now, because that Rams-Broncos game sitting there on Christmas Day in the middle of the day is the proverbial lump of NFL scheduling coal right now.
Brutal.
Because that week 1 game in which Denver went to Seattle, and by the way, that might have been Russ's best game of the year under the circumstances and the way the offense was moving and in the red zone, and both running backs who aren't even active right now, one not active, one not even on the team anymore, fumble inside the 5. And that was when we were first introduced to Nathaniel Hackett's coaching, readiness, acumen, however you want to put it, when he decided to play for a game-winning 90-million-yard field goal instead of letting Russ cook in his first opportunity back in Seattle, first opportunity as a Denver Bronco, and then one after another hit would come on the field of one game where after another in which the offense was stagnant or even worse, looking incompetent is the only word that you could use. Really. Point blank.
You're not wrong. That first game, he had 340 yards and a touchdown and a 101 passer rating.
And I thought, like, okay, if not for those fumbles, at least we're seeing the offense is going to be good.
I mean, he didn't fumble on the goal line.
And then it went off a cliff.
Yeah.
And prior to that, seeing Russ and the videos that came out of him that the Broncos, I guess, put together of him in front of a green screen and saying, Broncos country, let's ride. And then him constantly using those phrases at the podium after games in which the team lost and the offense looked completely anemic. Him standing in the middle of the field and with his eyes closed and twirling around.
Like Creed.
You know, twirling around. And it has been pile on Russ here. It really has been. Yeah. And the record is absolutely worthy of criticizing any quarterback. Doesn't matter who it is. 3-8 when you sign for as much money as Russ has signed for in Denver. And then you saw in going to 3-8, losing to Carolina on their interim head coach and their third different starting quarterback of the year, Baker Mayfield, then P.J. Walker, and then Baker again, and now Sam Darnold's ready. And Matt Rule, we spoke to yesterday, he's now the head coach of Nebraska Cornhusker football. I mean, talk about a total dumpster fire of a season. They lose to that team. And Mike Purcell, the defensive tackle on the team, is just comes off the field and barks at Russ. And in this day and age, you got to be careful about that sort of business, right? I mean, Des Bryant is the perfect example. Des would be going up and down the sideline and yelling and screaming. I mean, oh, how disruptive is he? And then the actual,
hyping him up.
The actual,
the mic'd up sound,
right? The actual transcript of what he's saying is all trying to get his team going.
Yep.
So you got to be careful about that sort of stuff. But even Chris Long came on this program, and he is a guy who doesn't traffic in the hot taking, and he's a two-time defending Super Bowl champ. He's just like, of course he was angry. He's like, we're talking about how Russ isn't the same Russ and how the contract may be suddenly one of the worst deals in the history of the league. That's what we've been talking about. His contract is the worst contract maybe in the history of the league you're seeing right now. So, of course, they're angry with Russ and maybe not buying in on it. Why am I bringing this all up right now?
Yeah, Rich.
Mike Kliss, who covers the Denver sports scene for a very long time, he tweets out about 15 minutes ago, there's been some gossip about Russell Wilson standing in the locker room. Here's some context. Per source, Wilson's wife, Ciara, threw him a birthday party last night, and, quote, it looked like about half the team was there on a player's day off. Why do people have to be so hurtful? Question mark he puts out there. I mean, the knives are out, and we're not even, for them, on game 12. 11 games in, and everything is being parsed. I mean, this is a man who doesn't traffic in this sort of rumor mongering, but he did throw it out there. I mean, that is as rumor mongering as you can possibly get, and the knives are out, and it's just like, what was the name of the quarterback from draft day? Right?
Oh, yeah, Bo, right?
I mean, it's what we're talking about. Like, nobody comes to his bowling party. Nobody comes to his birthday party.
Yeah, but we're talking 53 people. If you got half, that's 27 people. That's if half of your guest list shows up to your party.
Yeah, but TJ, if I'm throwing, I'm the quarterback around here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm throwing a birthday party. You don't show up because you got something else to do. You already have something going on. You're out because you on your one day off. Mm-hmm. I mean, Ashton invited you to the barn. You know what I mean?
You don't go to the barn, though, of course.
But if you don't show up, you might have a reason for not showing up. Correct?
Yeah.
And now suddenly somebody's out there calling up somebody who covers sports TV or whatever and saying, not even half of the Rich Eisen Show crew is at Rich Eisen's birthday party.
There's 11 of us.
There's also grown men who have wives and children, whatever, and they're one off day in the middle of a season.
Yeah, so
they just come back from Carolina, so they don't want to go to Russ's birthday party.
So you're kind of proving the point.
Right.
That's a lot of people to show up for a birthday party on your day off.
I mean,
it's written like it's bad, but I don't think that's bad. You're not going to get 53
somebody is saying that
people.
it's bad. Somebody is telling. I mean,
not a good look.
I don't think it's bad.
You don't? I don't know.
What, Chris? You expected all 53 to show up? No,
but you would have heard hey, Russ threw this banging birthday party. Not everybody can make it, but it was still a great time. No, this is. Nobody came to his birthday party.
If people are talking like that,
what is Nathaniel Hackett thinking right now? Do you think?
He's thinking, I
think that's
because if you got to take a look, if you take a look at that Purcell video, if it is angry, if he is telling Russ, cut the, whatever, who knows, whatever the transcript of it is, but it is something that is angry and talking to him in a manner in which probably no Seattle Seahawk ever spoke to him. Maybe in his entire tenure there. The Purcell statement, soliloquy, whatever it was, one-way ticket message was said right in front of the head coach. Right in front of him. Look at that video. Yeah. He doesn't even bat an eye. So maybe it wasn't that bad because he didn't turn around and go, hey, whatever. Or maybe Nathaniel Hackett's just...
It's like, you take care of it.
I don't know what the hell's happening there because something's happening in that locker room and stuff's getting out and being spun and being tweeted that is so off the charts. right now towards Russell Wilson. And the Broncos traded so much to get him and spent so much on him. Hey, folks in Denver. Hey, locker room around him. He's going nowhere. He needs to be rehabilitated, okay?
Yeah.
Like, he's not 40 and being shoved out the door. He's not somebody who can suddenly get pushed out the door because of whatever's happening in the locker room suddenly is so untenable. He's going nowhere. Because let's just even entertain. Let's just talk about this elephant that's clearly in the room that's rampaging all over the place right now. Let's just say and entertain the idea that the Broncos sit around, okay, that they sit down, the brass sits down if they're allowed to stay, the ownership group sits down from the team president to Commissioner Goodell. They all sit down and they go, what a monster, massive mistake this is. Mm-hmm. Coach has got to go. GM's got to go. We got to clear this whole damn thing out. Russ has to go. Russ has to. Let's just say they come out of that meeting. Russ has to go. Do you think they're getting anywhere back the value? Like, what would Russ go for in a trade right now with this contract coming off of this performance?
Like a 5th round
dude, pick? Not even remotely
like
in the galaxy of what Seattle just got for him.
One pick.
So he's going nowhere. So whoever's whispering about Russ's VIP list or his RSVP list, more specifically, whoever's got that knife out for him, you're just making him bleed because he ain't bleeding out. Whatever your goal is to try and embarrass him or clown him or whatever, you might be the one needing to change your address because he's not changing an address.
Yeah, Rich. So just looking at Russ's contract, right?
Get out of here.
He still has his 23 salary and 24 salary and bonuses fully guaranteed. The Broncos really can't get out of this deal until 2026.
Yeah, he's going nowhere. So you better go to his birthday party if you want to hang out in Denver.
Also, it's a $25 million house. Wouldn't you want to go see? And by the way, TJ, hold on a second.
Uh-huh.
Ciara is there.
That's my point. Hey, Del Tufo. First of all, let's be honest. The 49th through 53 man on the roster, they ain't getting invited to Ciara's party, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, but you're just not getting invited.
Is next week going to break down who on the practice squad was there?
Yeah, let's be honest.
Only 30% of the practice squad showed up. That's how unpopular Russ is in the locker room.
You know,
he maybe look.
He didn't expect the whole team.
Do you blame him?
The backup long snapper's not getting an invite to Ciara's party.
The whole business of screen run, screen pass, I'm a leader, and all that stuff that a lot of people think is fake or needs to be made fun of.
It's a little too much.
All of that's maybe a little bit too much. Great, but that's who he is.
Right.
The Broncos country, let's ride. No matter if you've missed on 30 passes, that's who he is. The Danger Russ sandwich, all of this stuff. This is who he is. You don't like it? Get out. Because he's going nowhere. Whoever is whispering about his RSVP list, let's call it what it is. They will change the coach, the general manager, and the roster before they change him right now. And you're not going to change him and as to who he is. But what he is no longer the guy who showed up in week 1 with those stats. It's terrible.
Not even close. I saw a stat. He was the 33rd ranked quarterback last week.
Out of
only 32 started, people.
Yeah. Well, they can't all look. You can't all be Mike White, man. They all can't be Mike White.
Get the fur coat.
So again, whoever's agenda is to clown Russ. Guess what? You might be the one with the red nose on. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.